So, Sue Bird, you see this. Investor Sue Bird has no interest in Unrivaled's 313,000 viewership as she urges fans to look at it differently. I'm begging you to not notice.
Sue Bird is at it again. The legendary point guard, four-time WNBA champion and league PR specialist is now defending its unrivaled viewership, though my grandma's Facebook live streams might beg to differ. Let's just say the numbers speak for themselves.
I think the way I feel about it and kind of what I'm hearing is we can't overreact, in a sense, to some of the viewership numbers because there's just a larger...
Meanwhile, Angel Reese's viewership is sinking faster than a rock in deep water. But don't worry, Sue Bird assures us everything's great. Just shut your eyes, pretend the numbers are skyrocketing, and voila, crisis averted. Let's break down why this logic is flawed and why the whole situation is comedy gold.
They wonder why no one is supporting their secondary dump. They wonder why no one is watching pretend basketball. Maybe if they focused on the actual basketball instead of focusing on their weird utopian fantasies, maybe their dump would be upgraded to a polished.
So, Sue Bird has stepped up to defend the WNBA's unrivaled league, despite its plummeting viewership. She insists we should focus on the positives. Oh, you mean like the part where almost no one is watching? Yeah, let's definitely celebrate that. Naturally, she's backing the WNBA's hilariously desperate branding attempt, Unrivaled, and, shockingly, Angel Reese. Because nothing says growing the game like propping up a player who has done little to make people actually want to tune in. Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Unrivaled supposed to be the next big thing? Instead, the ratings are crashing, and games are pulling fewer viewers than a 2003 cooking show rerun. But sure, let's pretend everything's fine.
I mean, 300,000 is not good at all. Not at all. And to me, this is probably going to be their best ratings ever. After what I saw, yeah, niche market. I say less than 300,000 from this point on, a niche.
Sue Bird really wants us to ignore the numbers and just appreciate the progress. But what progress? The WNBA finally had mainstream attention. And what did they do? Push Angel Reese like she's the next Michael Jordan. And guess what? Fans aren't buying it. The numbers don't lie. Every time Reese is on the court, viewership takes a nosedive. That's not a coincidence. It's a clear message from the fans. Let's be real. Outside of talking trash and throwing cheap shots, what does Angel Reese actually bring? She's not an elite scorer, not a game changer, and her so-called star power disappears the moment the cameras stop rolling. The hype isn't translating, and the league is paying for it.
I want you to keep in mind something. In comparison to the debut week, Angel Reese's debut game with the Rose BC Basketball Club has lost over half of its viewers.
Unrivaled league bet on the wrong horse, and it's hilarious watching them scramble now that it's blowing up in their faces. But here comes Sue Bird, urging us to support all players and see the bigger picture. Ma'am, the bigger picture is that the WNBA finally had the spotlight, and instead of showcasing skill and real talent, they pushed drama, fake rivalries, and forced narratives about players fans clearly don't care about. And let's not forget, this is coming from someone who played in an era when women's basketball had even worse viewership. Of course, she's unfazed by low ratings. Compared to the dark ages of 2010, these numbers probably look amazing to her. But for everyone else, it's a disaster.
Unrivaled. Folks, night one of Unrivaled, people were doing it. Do a little dance, show a little love, get down tonight. Hey, get down tonight. Oh, people were doing the cha-cha slide. Night one of Unrivaled, 313K, 311. That's a nice, not bad. That's acceptable, right? Then we get to night two. Oh, 113,000. That's not acceptable. Whoa. Then we get to night three. 187,000. Oh, 120,000. Yikes.
Unrivaled League was out here celebrating 300,000 viewers like they had just revolutionized basketball, confetti flying, bottles popping, acting like they were the sport's new powerhouse. Fast forward 3 weeks, and they're barely hitting 100,000. But wait, it gets worse. Angel Reese's team, the Roses, pulled in less than 100,000 viewers for a game. That's not a small drop-off. That's a full-scale evacuation. It's like fans took one look at what Unrivaled was serving and collectively said, "Nah, I'm good." And honestly, can you blame them? The hype isn't matching reality, and viewers are tuning out in record time.
Modest is a word I would use to describe ratings in the NHL. Nationally televised games in the NHL, they normally average 400,000 viewers. That's modest. Unrivaled cannot come close to reaching half that number. These ratings aren't modest, they're abysmal, they're atrocious. If I had to guess, Unrivaled is the least watched programming on TNT. Monday night, the Lunar Owls versus the Vinyl, 134,000.
Between the sloppy basketball, overhyped storylines, and the media shoving Angel Reese down everyone's throat like she's Prime Shaq, fans checked out fast. Now, we've got Sue Bird doing damage control. "We can't overreact," she says. "Oh, but we can, and we will. Losing 200,000 viewers in just 3 weeks? That's not a minor dip. That's a full-on collapse. It's like a restaurant going from packed tables to tumbleweeds, and the manager insisting, 'Everything's fine.' No, Sue, business is not fine. Fans saw the product, weren't impressed, and walked away, and no amount of PR spin is going to change that."
Angel Reese. Unrivaled basketball. Now 190 is better than 140, but both are better than the week prior and both are better than the opening night. We are headed on a downward spiral. Fast. This is falling fast, folks. This is going fast.
Let's talk about Angel Reese for a second because, let's be real, Unrivaled built a huge chunk of its hype around her. And what happened? Fans took one look and said, "No thanks." They tried to push her as the league's marquee star, but the audience isn't buying it. You can't force-feed mediocrity and expect people to eat it up forever. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark just casually dropped a 30-piece in the WNBA, and Fever games are shattering records. Fans want elite basketball. They want real competition, not some reality TV experiment disguised as a league. Unrivaled completely fumbled. They thought they had the formula for success, but the numbers don't lie. People tuned in, saw what was on display, and hit the exit button with force. Now Sue Bird is out here trying to play PR cleanup, acting like there's nothing to see, while Angel Reese keeps trying to convince everyone she's a superstar, when the fans have already decided she isn't. You can't fake greatness. Viewers know the difference between real talent and manufactured hype. If Unrivaled doesn't course correct fast, they'll be lucky to hit 10,000 viewers, and they'll probably blame it on the Wi-Fi.
The reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that. Like,
I'm sorry. I can't. She really believes that. She believed it then. She believed that they were started to watch her because of that one.
Let's be real. If Caitlin Clark were in this league right now, they wouldn't be playing in glorified high school gyms with 3,000 people pretending it's a packed house. No, those arenas would be sold out, standing room only, with the popcorn guy working overtime. Instead, we've got empty seats, weak viewership numbers, and games being played in venues so small you can hear the coaches breathing on the broadcast. And let's address the elephant in the room. Nobody is watching. That's a serious problem. How do you expect to grow the game when half the audience consists of friends and family? You could put some of these games on a Times Square billboard for free, and people would still walk past like, "Nah, I'm good." Hate to break it to some of you, but part of the problem is certain players pushing fans away. Cuff Angel Reese. Cuff. She's out here acting like she's on a reality TV show instead of a basketball court. Fans want elite competition, not drama for the sake of attention. Until Unrivaled figures that out, they'll keep struggling to get people to care.
He crosses teams and fandoms following today's win. South Carolina coach Dawn Staley took a moment to acknowledge what Clark has done for the sport.
Just don't want to not utilize this opportunity to thank Caitlin for what she's done for women's basketball. Like, her shoulders were heavy and getting a lot of eyeballs.
Trash talk is great, but if you're getting exposed on defense, maybe don't be the loudest in the room. Just saying. And then there's Sue Bird, a certified legend. But why is she backing this mess? She's defending players who are literally turning fans away. Sue, we love you. But this ain't it. You played the right way. Don't start endorsing nonsense now. The reality is the league needs stars people actually want to watch. And when Caitlin Clark finally arrives, game over. The lights will shine brighter, arenas will be packed, and suddenly, everyone will be paying attention.
We're going to talk about yet more records. All right, black and white sports supporters. Well, we're going to talk about yet more records, attendance-wise and ratings-wise, that Caitlin Clark has now obtained and captured. And she drew another big rating on NBA TV, which she's broken every WNBA record they've had on there this year, and then she broke it.
Angel Reese, also known as Miss I'm Changing the Game Too, is facing a tough stretch. Last season, she proudly claimed to be the reason fans were tuning into women's basketball, insisting she was the one elevating the league. However, the latest WNBA viewership numbers tell a different story. The much-hyped Future of the League tour isn't drawing the expected audience, with ratings taking a nosedive. Despite being broadcast for free, many viewers are choosing to skip it. The buzz she built isn't translating into must-see TV, proving that true influence is earned on the court, not just through words.
Because of one single game. And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that. Like, it's not just because of one person. A lot of us have done so much for this.
Meanwhile, over in Indiana, Caitlin Clark is gearing up for one of the most anticipated WNBA seasons ever. Fever ticket sales are skyrocketing, games are selling out, and the hype is off the charts. On the other hand, what's Angel Reese up to? Likely in the gym, prepping for another rough shooting night, while the Unrivaled tour struggles to keep viewers engaged. Let's be honest, the WNBA never saw Angel as the face of the league. They entertained the idea briefly because she was loud enough to draw attention, but real impact isn't just about talking. The league had one star in mind all along: Caitlin Clark. That's why Indiana is set for more national TV appearances than ever, and why the world is waiting for Clark's second year. Angel can tweet all the motivational quotes she wants, but the numbers don't lie. Fans know who they're really tuning in for.
By the way, Indiana's a small market. It ain't New York City, ain't LA, ain't Chicago. It's not the Skies, not the Liberties, not the Sparks. We're talking about the Indiana Fever, led by a girl that was playing at Iowa. Is producing the most watched WNBA games in over 2.
Don't even get me started on the whole "I'm changing the game" narrative. Changing what game? If the goal was getting people to watch something else, then sure, she's excelling. The WNBA had no choice but to put Caitlin Clark in as many primetime slots as possible, because Reese's so-called era of change lasted about as long as a TikTok trend. The funniest part? She really thought she was going to carry the league. But let's be real. You can't be the face of the WNBA when your biggest highlight is talking trash after someone else scores. To lead a league, you need to be, well, actually great. The reality is clear. The WNBA wanted a superstar who could truly move the needle, and Angel Reese isn't that. The numbers prove it. The league proves it. And soon, even she'll have to face the truth. But hey, at least she still has Twitter.
We get to Saturday, we start getting there. Saturday coverage, 98,000 on True TV alone. On True TV alone, but they must not have counted TNT. It wasn't on TNT. It was on True TV only. Okay? It was on True TV only. So no TNT numbers, no HBO Max numbers. Lunar Owls on True TV, 118,000. Missed Rose on True TV, 76.
The funniest part? Sue Bird is out here playing cheerleader, like a teacher telling a struggling student, "You're doing great, sweetie." But let's be honest, we all see the truth. The WNBA kicked off with serious momentum, the excitement was real, and then, boom, viewers started disappearing faster than Angel Reese in a one-on-one against actual star players. How do you even spin this? Oh, we still have millions watching. Sure, but you had millions more just weeks ago. That's like a restaurant bragging about 500 customers when they used to have 1,000. Clearly, something's off. And let's be real, this drop isn't random. Fans tuned in expecting top-tier basketball, not whatever Reese is bringing to the court. Constant flopping, barking at opponents like an off-leash chihuahua. It's no surprise people are tuning out. They came for elite competition and got stuck watching a sideshow instead.
Unfortunately for Angel, she was caught on a hot mic last night during a timeout running her mouth about one Sabrina Ionescu. And my goodness, that was...
Sue Bird girl, you're a legend. But standing behind this mess? Come on now. Fans aren't dumb. They saw what was happening and bounced. If the league focused on actual basketball instead of hyping up trends that crash in 3 weeks, we wouldn't be here. But here we are. Numbers don't lie, and the scoreboard isn't looking good.
It was just okay. Now it's below 200,000. Actually, those two games, it took two of those games to add up to those similar numbers. I don't know, my math's not the greatest, but I don't think either game matched up to 300,000. Yeah.
Let's see what Unrivaled has planned in the coming weeks, but it's not looking great. The first ratings hit 300,000, which was solid. But losing half that audience in just 3 weeks? Yikes. And to think Caitlin Clark could have been part of this. Imagine the viewership if she were out there dominating. Wow. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. More videos are on screen now.